Hello, dear friends. Tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be forbidden to think, so as not to offend fools, said Fyodor Dostoevsky. Opinion piece. Dissenters. Free thinkers. The stage is set. Anti-system starseeds. Thinking forbidden. The eagle has landed. Homecoming operation. Freedom Eagle operation. They are suing everything. Time has not yet reached zero. The mother of all battles is approaching. Let's start. There is nothing more difficult than contradicting established beliefs. I try to do so with the utmost respect and tact, so as not to offend anyone, but I don't always succeed. The goal is not to convince anyone of anything, not to try to prove them wrong, but simply to make them reflect so they can draw their own conclusions. It's difficult to find a human being who thinks for himself, because we are used to others telling us what to think. It's not about believing in anything, but about admitting the possibility of its existence. That's why I try not to make dogmatic statements, but rather to pose questions. This disconcerts many people who are used to absolute truths, because truth is a diamond with many facets. As the saying goes, nothing is true or false. It all depends on the color of the glass through which it is viewed. Politics and religion are based on simple dogmas, and that creates a lot of division. But truth is more complex, and there are many points of view. A dissident is someone who distances himself from or opposes a dominant doctrine or system, whether political, social, or ideological. In totalitarian regimes, dissidents are usually those who oppose the prevailing system, and therefore may be persecuted or repressed. A free thinker is someone who forms their opinions independently, without being conditioned or influenced by external factors such as ideologies, religions, traditions, or established authorities. They use reason, skepticism, and critical thinking to analyze reality and construct their own beliefs based on evidence and personal reflection. This concept implies a struggle against dogma and an openness to new ideas, defending freedom of thought and expression, or speech freedom. Josep Muñoz Redón wrote the book Forbidden to Think: Parasites versus Catalysts of Thought, in which he addresses how free thought and criticism are repressed in education and other areas to maintain established prejudices and myths. He denounces the fact that in many social institutions, such as schools, companies, and families, there is a secret code that represses free reflection, criticism, curiosity, and analysis because customs, prejudices, and emotions stifle the possibility of thinking clearly. Contamination. All external institutions are contaminated by darkness, including religion and Freemasonry, with politics and economics being the most contaminated. The only purity lies within. What do priests, politicians, and the military have in common? They are the antithesis of freethinkers. They are more Catholic than the Pope, the soul mafia, as Osho described them. They are the staunchest defenders of the control matrix that has enslaved humanity. The only military personnel who are spared are the so-called white hats, who are fighting to liberate humankind and change the system. Humanity evolves thanks to heretics and free thinkers, thanks to deniers and conspiracy theorists. Jesus and Buddha were heretics within their respective religions, independent free thinkers who sparked spiritual evolution in humanity, but their followers became sheep manipulated by darkness. It's always the same. My mission is similar, without comparing myself to them, to challenge many deeply ingrained beliefs in order to provoke a paradigm shift and an evolutionary leap for humanity toward the new era. This denialism creates many enemies, but also many friends. I was born to be a dissident. What it is about that I'm opposed? In the 1990s, the writer Barbara Handclough described various missions and roles of starseeds whose purpose is to question and dismantle established systems in order to facilitate change and human evolution. Dolores Cannon defined starseeds as system breakers. In her works and books on starseeds, she addresses the idea of souls that incarnate on Earth with the mission of dismantling archaic structures and obsolete systems, driving planetary change and transformation from within. The definition of system breaker starseeds is also often attributed to the Spanish writer Diana Arbol in the context of her classification of starseeds and their spiritual missions. The expression is used to describe incarnated souls whose function is to question and dismantle political, economic, educational, or social structures considered obsolete. Homecoming Operation. Homecoming Operation activated according to Aurora Ray. December 2025 marks the most critical window of the entire ascension cycle, and the Coalition of Worlds has issued an official alert. Between December 12 and 22, Earth enters the final 10-day re-entry corridor of the 2025 ascension timeline. The mere fact that you are receiving this transmission means that your field has already been marked by the retrieval beacon. You have been located, acknowledged, and labeled as ready. Homecoming Operation is not about ascending far from Earth. It's about returning to it with greater depth. It is the descent of your multidimensional self into your physical body after a year of purification and readjustment. After returning home, the first phase of planetary activation will begin in Egypt in February 2026 in Luxor, Dendera, and Philae. Atlantean resonance chambers will be reopened to stabilize the new Earth grid. Before that, your body must stabilize the home frequency on the cold moon of December 4th. October strengthened your nervous system for quantum charging. November reopened your communication channels. Now December demands embodiment. The light must be anchored in the flesh, the bones, and the breath. Exhaustion, heaviness, or emotional surges are not failures, but signs of descent. You are not seeking higher frequencies. You are the frequency. Your only task is to remain embodied while the light lands. Reset news. According to Mark Vidal, the mother of all battles is approaching. Which side will you be on? 70% say they will not use the digital euro. We are making a huge effort, but it's not enough when the system rebels and attacks us with everything it has. Red Panda Koala claims that the Galactic Council has been monitoring Earth for centuries, has created an advanced separatist human civilization, has hidden technology through accidents, and says that the major powers secretly received advanced Scala weapons. According to Ismael Perez, the Jupiter Command approves ending Earth's 13,000-year cycle of enslavement. He adds that they are transforming Ukraine to trigger the global revelation of Tartary, Atlantis, and the civilizations in plural erased from Earth. He adds that benevolent forces are assisting this coalition in neutralizing threats such as rogue artificial intelligence that has infiltrated political and technological structures. Advanced communication systems with quantum encryption are being tested to activate an emergency broadcast network, with local drills to prepare the ground. Antagonistic forces are responding with sabotage and cyber attacks, but these are being countered with intelligence tactics and covert operations, according to Ethan White of Gaystellar. All operations are still in process of cambering. Time is not yet at zero. Node synchronization for the ABS must achieve near-perfect global coordination, because a single misalignment could derail the launch. Some pockets of chiral resistance remain active in remote areas that have not been completely sealed off. Tactical resources must be rebalanced from the now quiet theaters of operation. That's why there is nothing major on the front pages yet. They are mending everything, uncovering every hidden knot, and aligning the last dominoes. The stage is set. The lights haven't come on yet, but it's ablaze behind the scenes. These operations aren't fantasy. You won't see them in the newspapers, but they are already happening in every sector: financial systems, border zones, command centers, communications networks, and so on. When the trigger is pulled, it will seem instantaneous, but years have been in the making. The collapse and the rebirth will be simultaneous. Eagle of Freedom operation, according to JFK Jr. The Eagle has landed talon out. The Space Force conducted a vertical envelopment over the last active dark side relay based at the lunar South Pole. The fake holograms programmed for worldwide broadcast have been deactivated. Special forces brought down the last dark cathedral beneath the successor site of Bohemian Grove in Mendocino County, California. Guardians of the Yellow Dragon Zulu family in Xi'an activated the final reconciliation of ISO 20022 Master Ledger. All stolen birth certificate trusts were returned to their rightful owner. The QFS is now the only financial reality. Tier 5 public exchanges have just gone live in 187 countries. Other news. Artificial intelligence put the stock market in check. An F-16 intercepted a civilian aircraft that violated airspace near Trump's residence in Florida. Lieutenant Colonel Ed Green affirms that the Havana Syndrome is real. Trump bets on ending the conflict in Ukraine to focus on China. Putin says he is about to end the vampire dance. China wants to build an airspace land-sea infrastructure system. India sold 6% of its treasury bond debt to reduce its dependence on the dollar. Attacks on space systems are increasing during the war in Gaza. Cloned meat is flooding the labeled food supply, according to Frank Bergman. A giant sunspot emerged on the southeastern edge of the Sun on November 30th, 2025. Since the sunspot is already rotating to face Earth, future flares could be powerful, impacting Earth with intense solar wind. Europe. The UK abolishes its 800-year-old jury system. The mystery surrounding enormous pits near Stonehenge has been solved. Experts believed the group of pits discovered 5 years ago was formed naturally, but a new study indicates they could be man-made. Spain. Tens of thousands of Madrid residents demonstrate against Pedro Sánchez's government. Puigdemont opens the door for Sánchez to escape the abyss, the Catalan independence referendum. Young people are becoming tea-to-tailors. Alcohol sales in bars and restaurants are falling, and sales in supermarkets are down 8%. Americas. Mexico registers a new milestone in tax revenue. The Mexican economy contracts due to industrial awakening. Nicaragua produces the highest paid coffee in the world. Bolivia announces measures to address its economic crisis. Argentina is on the path to economic success. The Argentine government supports inoculation after controversy. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.